And what is up, everybody? Today is Saturday, and today was mini con in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, at the Vintage Toy Mall, and it was a big deal. It was a really big deal because thanks to the pandemic last year, I didn't get to go to any of the conventions that I normally do for my channel Action Fuzz. Not just my channel Action Fuzz, but also uh, just my whole art page and everything, with Action Fuzz in general. And what wound up happening was Walter Jones. Unfortunately, I was going to be meeting Walter Jones, the original Black Power Ranger, and Karen Ashley, the second Yellow Ranger. For those of you that don't know, Tui Train, who played Trini, the original Yellow Ranger, passed away in 2001. Yeah, I found that out not that long ago, and it really broke my heart to find that out too. So that's the one ranger I will never meet. But there were up until today, there was three rangers I had not met: Karen Ashley, Walter Jones, and Amy Jo Johnson. So I was supposed to kill two birds with one stone, and I hear that his flight was canceled. I mean, his flight was delayed, and I was like, oh well, I guess he was flying American because that's all they do now. Just delay. They can just keep delaying your flights. Then lo and behold, they said it was delayed again. It's not that it was delayed; it's that he missed it due to his father's passing, which was less than he just buried his father less than 2 weeks ago, so he's not really emotionally ready to be doing these appearances, this, that, the other. I get it. I understand. My father passed away 6 years ago. I can't expect anybody to do something like that, but he did promise to come in for November. Now, so Karen Ashley was still going to be there. Now, I met Karen Ashley at New York Comic Con in 2019. And I wasn't even supposed to be in New York, nonetheless be at New York Comic Con that year. At that time. It was weird for me, and to see her right next to Austin St. John, who I just finished giving, shadow box of the Red Ranger, of the Mighty Morphing Red and the Zeo Gold Rangers. I, saw her she wasn't talking to anybody, and there was nobody at her booth, and I said hi. I'm sorry, but I didn't have enough time. It's lovely to meet you, but I didn't have enough time to make anything for you. And what wound up and I just left it at that. Turns out, there was this, that was in 2019, and then I was supposed to meet her 2020 at Undiscovered Realm Comic Con, but the show got canceled. 90% of all the conventions last year got canceled. When listening to her talk a couple times and seeing some of her posts on Instagram, this girl veers left politically. Some of the stuff she said, I'm just not gonna, I'm just not gonna follow her anymore. So I stopped following her, just left it at that. Trying to be civil for the most part, but I said, I promised. This was something I said to, I don't remember if it was Johnny Young Bosch. I don't remember if it was David Yost. I said, if anybody who ever wore the title of Power Ranger, if they come through, I'm gonna make something. I'll have, a figure made for them, and did it for the Time Force Blue Ranger. Okay, awesome. Forget his name. What winds up happening with Karen Ashley, though, is that despite everything, that was I said I was going to do it, and in 2019, I said I was going to do it, and even if she probably didn't remember, I know she didn't remember me or anything like that. It's okay, great. Oklahoma doesn't have a mask mandate. I don't know if it's statewide, but Tulsa doesn't have a mask mandate, and also, Broken Arrow doesn't have a mask mandate. I'm not knocking people, people wearing masks or anything like that. It's just that, like, I'm getting, like, I don't know where she lives anymore. I know she was from Texas, and I'm guessing she's in California, and everybody in California has to hate anything and everything, Donald Trump. I remember something she said about the movie that she was in with. It was a movie, very underproduced movie, action movie, with just about any and everybody who was ever a Power Ranger from Time Force down, including Austin St. John, Johnny Young Bosch, herself, David Yost. Don't remember if Walter Jones was in there, but Jason Foster, the Time Force Red Ranger, he was there, and just one thing after another. And I'm not the timeline, something post-apocalyptic, corrupt government, this, that, the other. And she's like, oh, we made this like she's like, it's supposed to be in the future, but this movie, it's obviously taking place now. Trying to say that, and I've constantly asked this question. I've never gotten an answer. What did Trump do that was so wrong? I'm not talking about what he tweeted. I'm not talking about what he said. I'm not talking about that he hurt your feelings. What did he do while he was in office? What bills did he pass? What policies did he set? What laws did he write that was so villainous, that was so racist, that was so wrong? What did he do that was so wrong? Every time I ask that question, nobody answers that. Every time I've asked that question, no one has ever answered that. Yes, Trump was a jerk. I knew that before I voted for him. I didn't want to vote for him, but I'd have been an idiot to vote for Hillary. And with everything that's going on now, there's no such thing as a Biden supporter. Only Trump haters. Plain and simple. But I digress. So now, I just finished getting over COVID over a month ago. She's in Broken Arrow, where there is no mask mandate. And every other picture that I have with me of just about everybody that I've met, all the celebrities that I've met, with the exception of people that I've met more than once. People that I've met more than once, I'm not in the picture with them. But every person I've met, that I have pictures with, the first picture that I take, it's a picture with just me and them, right? It was like that with Jason David Frank. It was like that with Austin St. John, David Yost, Johnny Young Bosch, everybody. Catherine Sutherland, everybody. And with her, the table was so ridiculously long to try to get around it, and she was gracious enough to, because apparently they charge you for selfies. I found that out the hard way, meeting Ken Jeong, who was the original voice of Storm Shadow in the 1980s G.I. Joe cartoon. And what happened was, when I took when I took the picture with him, as I'm walking away, his assistant is chasing me down. Yeah, you took a selfie, right? You took a selfie, right? And then points that it was like $40 to take a picture with him after I just finished giving you something. And just finished giving you something, you're still gonna and you're gonna demand that I pay. That's when I made the criteria that I'm not gonna induct you into the Hall of Fame if you're gonna charge me The only time somebody charged me that I still put them in the Hall of Fame, the Action Plus Hall of Fame, was Val Kilmer, because if anybody didn't have to go the extra mile for me, it was him. Had to pay $80 to take a picture with him. And when I gave him the shadow box of Doc Holliday, Batman, and Iceman from Top Gun, he was so shocked that he's trying to talk to me despite his tracheotomy, telling me that he had to give me something to come to his booth, which was curtained off from everybody else, and that you had to pay to even come see him. Pay for a meet and greet. Nonetheless, get anything autographed. He tells me I have to give you something. Come to my booth. I have to give you something. And he gave me this lithograph that he made himself. It's like he was making these himself of different characters that he played, and he signed it for me and gave it to me. He didn't have to do that. I genuinely don't care for autographs. I appreciate them, especially when they come from certain people like Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger, wouldn't let me leave without an autographed picture. Rob Paulson, Raphael is my favorite Ninja Turtle. He was the original voice of Raphael. He, wouldn't let me leave without an autograph. Ken Scott, who was Raphael in the 1990 and 91 movies, gave me 2 autographs because he was also the Kid Ken from that awful movie with Billy Blank, Showdown. Let's me leave with an autograph. But then some of the reactions that I get, sometimes people are like just so blown away. They don't give me anything in return. Johnny Young Bosch didn't give me anything in return. Neither did Catherine Sutherland, but Catherine Sutherland handed me she handed me the shadow box back and basically filmed me handing it to her and explaining to her me giving it, like what it was I was giving and why I was giving it, and posted on her Instagram. So I love the appreciation that I get from people, the reaction that I get from these people. It makes all the sense in the world for me to keep doing it, and I want to keep doing it. Granted, Billy D. Williams, I had to pay $100 to take a picture with him, and the Lando Calrissian shadow box that I gave him, this was his reaction. Ooh. That was his reaction. And this is a man who doesn't have a tracheotomy. This is a man who actually can speak normal. And the best I could get from him was, On top of that, I had to shove the shadow box at him for him to finally take it. So Karen Ashley genuinely appreciated it. But this table's long, and it'd be awkward for me to walk away all the way around to the other side. And then and because of how long the table is, everybody who's assisting her is behind the table. For me to try to get behind the table, I was like, if I could just get a picture. And she goes, oh, that'd be fine. She goes, oh, you want to be in it? I'm in the pictures with all the other Power Rangers. I'm in the picture with just about all the other celebrities that I've met. Why would you ask me that question? And then on top of that, she kept her mask on. And I tell her, you don't have to keep your mask on. I got over COVID last month. Meaning I'm perfectly safe. I don't have it. And she tells me, she's nursing a baby. So she needs to. I'm almost positive she probably got herself vaccinated. She probably got herself vaccinated, and then on top of that, she's just doing everything. And she's just doing anything and everything that CNN is telling her to do, pretty much. So I have a picture of her holding the shadow box, and her face from here on is covered. How the hell am I supposed to post that and say like, oh yeah, this is Karen Ashley, the Hall of Fame? The first thing anybody's gonna say is, well, who is that? Do you see what this administration has done? Do you see what these past few years of this woke BS and just this Trump derangement has done? To even ruin something as simple as ruin something as simple as meeting your fans. And I don't want, I don't want anything from these people because, let's be honest, they've given me so much. I wouldn't be who I am today if not for the cartoons that I used to watch, if not for the messages that they taught me, if not for the fact that there were these heroes that, regardless of what was put in front of them, they stood up against all odds on the side of good. They didn't always win. They didn't always come out on top, but they did it because it was the right thing to do. And now, with these people, now they don't even have to wear masks, and everything's just being acted out of fear. And I still got the picture for free. It's a picture. I can't even see her face in the picture because she's wearing a mask. I'm not in the picture with her. I did get it for free, and I would hate for her to be the only Mighty Morphing Ranger not in the Action Plus Hall of Fame with all the other Mighty Morphing Rangers. And the only one I'm afraid of that might not get into it is Amy Jo Johnson, because the shows that she goes to, they're gonna demand that you pay, and so if for her to ask me like, oh, you want to be in the picture, I wasn't gonna question it at that point because I was broke. I didn't have any money. I had $20 to catch a cab back home. That was the only money I had on me to catch an Uber home, and needed to make sure that was there. But a selfie was $40, so I wasn't gonna be able to afford it anyway. I was hoping if Walter Jones was there, at least I could take a picture with the both of them at the same time, kill two birds with one stone, and that's not what happened, unfortunately. And Walter Jones, my prayers go out to you. May the peace that surpasses all understanding be upon you right now. Your father, you said he was a pastor, so I truly believe he is in a much better place now. The pain, unfortunately, you don't get over it. You just get used to it. Like I said, my father passed away 6 years ago. I know all too well what you're going through right now. So God bless, man. Seriously. And I'm not blaming Karen. I'm not blaming Karen Ashley for this. I was very disappointed, how this turned out. I was really hoping, but what could I ask for? How much could I possibly expect from people the way that the world is right now? It's sad. It's pathetic. It's not her, and it's not her fault, because this is what she's been told this is how she was told she needed to act. This is how she was told she needed to think. This is how she was told, to feel towards certain things, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. At some point, people gotta. But I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be angry at her. I mean, she genuinely had some legitimate concerns. Understandable, but ultimately, this was pretty pathetic. It was pathetic, and this needs to stop. No ifs, ands, or buts. World needs to get back to how it was. I'm done talking. You guys have a good night.